there, friends. Hopefully you can hear me just fine. My mic is up out of the way, so levels might be a little weird, but it is what it is. Because turning up any volume levels is gonna just make an echo. So, if you need to turn it up, do. But we're live, and I got some feedback on whether or not to do this live makeup tutorial. It's an aside for sure, but think I'm going to do it. So I got out all the supplies. It's important to have your supplies, but first things first, you got to start with a clean slate. So I have these little towels here. I have on a little bit of lipstick. I'm going to take it off because, going live on a cam, you got to make sure to have a little bit of color in your face. So I didn't want to go on completely makeupless because that just looks weird. So I did at least put on a little bit of lipstick so that I show up at least a little bit, but that's coming off right now. So here I have this toner. This is what I use. I make it. Yeah, it's in a really sort of weathered bottle. That's all right. I use 4-ounce bottles from a bottle supplier and put micellar water, saline, willow bark, which I get from lotioncrafter.com. Boy, is that a great site. Lactic acid, which I get actually from The Ordinary because they make wonderful lactic acid with a dropper and I love it. So I just use that. And then I use an orange oil in here because it's wonderfully tightening for the skin, and witch hazel, witch hazel, rose water. There's a lot of things in this. Anyway, this is my toner that I use as remover. It's wonderful for chemical and manual exfoliation, and it also takes off makeup. And if you combine it with an oil like apricot seed oil, it'll take off all your makeup. Like if you've got waterproof makeup, it'll do that too. Um, anyway, so it's really awesome on lips. Lips get dry, the skin gets dry. There's the lipstick on the towel. And the great thing about this is it doesn't taste bad. It doesn't taste like anything. And when you're doing makeup, I feel like that's really key. If you're going to take off lipstick, your remover shouldn't taste like anything. Because if it tastes like something, you're going to hate it. Just saying. But you can use this on your whole face. I have already, so I've got moisturizer on. I'll show you. I use this fantastic Korean moisturizer by a brand called Pyeongkang Yul. This stuff is incredible. This is their moisture barrier lotion. This stuff saves my skin pretty much daily. I have the driest skin on the planet and have to fight with eczema and things like that. That stops the process and makes it so that my skin looks fresh, it looks soft, it looks young. I love this stuff. It doesn't have anti-age ingredients in it, but boy, does it do a good job. It really does. So, from that basis, I start with this hyaluronic acid barrier builder moisturizer. Put it all over my face. And then I get hyaluronic acid 4D from Lotion Crafter. These people make the most amazing stuff. You can put this straight on your skin. I use this on my eyes, so I'll do that now because I do have this problem where I've got very dry looking eyes. Oh, and taking off the goth gloves would probably be helpful here, right? Because you're going to have to use your hands. You're going to use your hands. You're going to get gloves dirty. They're just not a good idea while you're doing makeup, so those are growing off. Anyway, so you can use your hand as a palette. This thing squeezes. So you just grab it, get yourself a drop of it, And you can use this on your eyes, all over your face. This stuff is wonderful. It's the best hyaluronic acid that I've found, the 40. And I guess it's 40 because it's from 4 different sources and 4 different molecule weights. But God, I love this stuff. I can't even tell you. It's the best stuff for a face. And I regularly have my boyfriend use the 40 hyaluronic acid to deal with dyshydrotic eczema that happens under beards, and it gets terrible and dry. And when he says, "Oh, my face feels very tight from shaving," I always say, "Go get that stuff and put that on. Spray some of this other toner that I make. That's a moisture toner on top of it, and then seal it with oil, and that protects your moisture barrier." This is really key to this makeup look. You have to have nice smooth skin to do that. So use an exfoliating toner, and that's my recommendation. Make it yourself. It's far cheaper. And trust me, I do everything on the cheap because I live on SSI. And in the US, like, you're living on SSI, you're living on nothing. You're living under the poverty line by far. And so you're going to have to do things on the cheap. Knowing how to make things yourself, it'll save you. All right. So I make this toner. This toner is saline, and let's see, apple and orange stem cells, which you can also get from Lotion Crafter. This is like an ad for Lotion Crafter, I swear to God, but I love these people. I have loved them for as long as I've been making makeup. They're the best. Anyway, this is saline and apple and orange stem cells and hyaluronic acid 40. A couple drops of it. And it just helps to seal moisture into your face. So what you do is you just spray this on all over. Doesn't smell or taste like anything, which is great. Puts moisture back in your hyaluronic acid, because hyaluronic acid absorbs up to 200 times its weight in water. And it is perfectly, it really loves saline. It seems like it absorbs more saline. What I've got in this bottle here, this is oil. And this is a blend of vitamin E oil, which I bought at the drugstore, and apricot kernel oil that I bought from pipingrock.com in a gallon container, which was so affordable. They had it on closeout, and I was like, yes, that's fine. So I just refill my little bottle with vitamin E and apricot oil. I don't put any scent in it, but you can. If you find peach or rose, the pH is right on this for skin, and it doesn't irritate the eyes, and it smells nice. You can do that. You put that in your oil, and it makes your skin very nice, and it's a desensitizer, both of those things, and they're very nourishing to the skin. But I don't put anything in mine, just vitamin E and apricot kernel oil. But the oil is really important here, because you need this kind of slip to be able to do what I'm going to do. So first things first, I have a stack of pigments that I bought. I think I bought these stack jars a long ass time ago on Amazon. I don't recommend buying anything from Amazon at this point. They're a tech giant. Everybody needs to avoid them like the plague. They've got a draconian plan to take over America in this weird techno giants rule everything. We're going to enslave Americans and wreck the world economy sort of thing. Please, if you have it in your heart, cancel your Amazon membership, Prime, everything. Stop using them. They're terrible. And, Bezos, he's the richest person. Well, now I think he's the richest guy in the world. Used to be Elon Musk, but we're tanking him good, aren't we? Yeah. See ya, Tesla. Anyway, Tank these people, lock them up, and lock away their funds, and that's my advice. But I'm not trying to get political here. I'm trying to do makeup. So I bought this stack of jars. You can buy them online, and I've been putting pigments in them for a long time. This stack jar has existed. You can tell because it's all scarred up with makeup and just it looks old. It is old. I've been putting pigments in this forever. Pigments don't go bad. That's the thing. Mica pigments, mineral pigments, they don't go bad. Um, they're wonderful and they're antimicrobial by their very nature. So you can actually keep them for a good long while. But, to be safe with microbes around your eyes, you want to make sure to like clean out your little jars like every 6 months. That's the makeup artist in me talking. Make sure to do that. But if you keep pigments in a jar, they don't go bad. All right, these pigments are from tkb.com. I love TKB. I've loved TKB for a long time. And this pigment that I'm using is one of their starlight pigments, I believe, one of their planetary pigments. And it's a blend of it's like Karma Chameleon. It's red, gold, and green. And gold. Very much gold. But I use this as the pigment underneath my eyes. I also use a pigment. I'll show you. I'll just try and get the camera on it so you can see it. It's a beautiful color. But you're going to see it all spread out. I use this under my eyes. It reflects light. If you're doing strobing and you're doing it on top of your makeup, you're doing it wrong. Do the strobing under your makeup. It reflects light out of the lines and it keeps your face looking fresh without looking like you're sweaty. Yeah, if you've got this problem where you're doing strobing and you're like, but my skin looks sweaty, it's because you need to do it under your makeup. All right, and I have a peach tone pigment that I got from them a long time ago. I have no idea what the name of this is. I think it's Peach Bellini, but correct me if I'm wrong. Anyway, get yourself some mica pigments in peach under your eyes. Now, if you've seen tutorials where people like use red or use something like that, the concept is correct, but you want something that reflects light and is translucent. So don't just go at it with some lipstick. You're gonna have a hard time covering that up. Go at it with some translucent mica, and that way the light reflects out from under your eyes. The first thing you're gonna notice is that you look like you got a black eye when you do this, but just stick with me. It's gonna work out. This will cover up your blue circles. If you have nice thick bags under your eyes, this is a fantastic way to disguise them. I have blue circles under my eyes. I've had blue circles under my eyes since I was a little kid. And I don't sleep much because, like I said, I have MS, so I'm in pain all the time. So my sleep schedule is wrecked. And this is a good way to look like I slept when I didn't. So, and I do this every day anyway because I'm constantly just trying not to look old on the cam because my years, I don't want them to reflect on my face. I'm just like any woman that way. So what we're going to do, I've got a mirror here. And you're going to stroke this peach color under your eye. You want to make sure you've got oil underneath there so it slides. Peach color underneath your eye. See how weird that looks? It does make you look a little like you have a black eye. Am I right? But yeah, you can also do this on top of your lid if you've got a little bit of shadowing there that you don't like. And I do. So I'm doing that all the way around my eye with the peach mica. And normally I speed through this process and it goes like, I'd say it takes me about 15 minutes. I'd say it's going to take me longer because I'm talking. But I see that I've still got bags just making their way to the cam. So peach around my eye, more peach around my eye. Is what it takes. All right. So now that I look nice and demented with the peach around my eye, sweet, I'm gonna put a little more hyaluronic acid and oil on top of it to make sure that it stays moist and looks nice. So I'm gonna do that. Just a little drop of it should do it. It also increases the slip on the mica, which is nice. And helps things blend. You want that. You want things to blend. So this is a good thing to help things blend. You can blend almost anything with hyaluronic acid, like liquid liner. There was a point at which I was putting a white line with liquid liner underneath my eye. I actually let it dry and then go at it with hyaluronic acid and it would blend. The reason for that is because you want to reflect light out of your eye, and white is a good way to do that too. But I personally prefer the under the makeup way of doing this. So if you notice, I've just put this Karma Chameleon mica underneath my eye, and it looks ridiculous right now, but you're gonna see it's gonna be awesome. Okay, I am gonna get a little dab of oil so that this has some slip and will spread nicely. Because otherwise, if you got it too powdery, it's gonna be cakey. You don't want that. You want it to slip. So, and as usual, I'm using my hand as a palette for all of it. Let's just blend it in, right? Blend it in with oil. Blend it in. It's gonna look like shit at first, and just trust me on this. It's gonna be awesome. You might be thinking this is going the wrong direction, but trust me on this. It's gonna be awesome. All right. Now that it looks super ridiculous, let's do this. I make my own foundation, and I will describe this to you. It's a mineral foundation, and it's got a lot of stuff in it, but it's got a blend of clays and rose petals and some baking soda slash white charcoal powder. It's originally meant for teeth. I love it. White charcoal is the name of the brand. I love it. It does wonderful things. It's a white pigment for your skin. It's got some zinc oxide and it's got a bunch of pigments. I can show you in another tutorial how to make this, but I make my own foundation. And it's got a little bit of shiny mica in it too, so that the light reflects out of my skin even when I'm not using strobing underneath. So what you want to do is this. You've got a lot of slip on your skin. Work with under your eyes with a kabuki brush. A kabuki brush is the linchpin of this look. Honestly, you buff all of the mineral makeup out with this. It's great. All right, so I'm gonna go under my eyes with this concealing foundation. And note, I just did this. Look. Doesn't look ridiculous. The strobing is underneath. You don't see as many of the blue circles. Fantastic. So, do this on the other eye. Real quick here. And I'm using a mini kabuki brush for this. I do have a full-size one. I'm not fond of it. I like the little one because I can get in corners and do really detailed looks with it. I find it good for all over my face. I love it. But you can use a large kabuki brush for all over your face if you like that. But I like the little one because I find that I have more control with it. And then I'm going to go with the rest of the makeup. If you've got other spots to shine light out of so that people don't see your lines, like for me, I've got lines in my forehead, and I sometimes like to shine light out of those to make sure that those aren't like the first thing you see when you meet me. But if you've got other lines, use that. Use the strobing underneath the makeup to shine light out of lines. And I've got another strobing powder that I use to do that. It's not the gold, because you only use gold where you're trying to correct for blue. Gold and peach correct for blue and correct for green as well. If you've got a very green undertone on your skin, you can correct that way. I have another strobing powder. I'm going to find it here. There we go. And it's a fantastic, like, multi-white. I'll show you. Do you see that? It's not easy to see on a cam, but nonetheless, it's a multi-tone white. Hopefully you can see a little bit of that. It's got sort of a rainbow tone. It's got all of the tones of shimmer in it, so that all the light is reflected. I use that in my foundation and underneath for strobing on lines that I need to white out, basically, so that so they're not the first thing you see when you meet me. Anyway, just wanted to make that clear. Like, don't use the gold on everything. Don't use the peach on everything. Use a multi-tone white. All right, so back to foundation here. Foundation is the basis of any good look, especially if you're a goth. And can I just suggest something here? Do not wear white foundation. My daughter would disagree with me. Don't wear white foundation. It's hard to blend. If you don't get it into your ears correctly, it looks like shit. If you don't get it blended into your neck correctly, you look like a total weirdo. Only wear white foundation if you're doing, like, I don't know, black metal makeup. If you're trying to just do a like daily goth look, do not wear white foundation, please. Wear a foundation that is about 2 shades lighter than your skin. That's what I do. I blend up a foundation that is 2 shades lighter than my skin. And we can talk about that in another tutorial, but how to make a foundation that matches your skin and is just a little bit lighter. That's another story, but I've got this mineral foundation. We're doing this. And I always go underneath my chin just so that it's not like I don't have a line of too light. Yeah, there we go. And people who love strobing will tell you strobing and minimizing like neck appearance will tell you not to do that. I know. I'm just weird and don't want a line. So that's another tutorial where you take the darker colors and minimize the neck. I don't like doing that. I'm personally not a fan. My neck has a little bit of a I don't know what I like to call a waddle. I hate it, but I use minimizing creams on that. I don't like to use makeup techniques to make that go away. Some people do. I don't. Just to clarify. Yeah. So I still do the foundation the way I did when I was 21, and that's probably a mistake, but whatever. It is what it is. So you've got this towel that had toner on it. You're bound to have powder on your shirt if you've been doing this. I do. You take this wet towel and do that so that you don't have foundation all over everything when you're going to talk to people, because it's going to look ridiculous. It's a good way to use your toner towel. Anyway. All right. Next up, I'm going to do some brows. So I found a way to do brows that is my very favorite. I've been looking for it for years. I always have like a funky color of hair, purple or blue or pink, and how do you match the eyebrows of a look with weird colored hair? That's a hard thing. And you know what? Usually if you do, it looks ridiculous. So I'm going to give you a tip. Use like a medium brown. This I got from, I don't know, Elf. It was really cheap. It was like a couple bucks in the store. I love this stuff. It's a gel eyebrow dressing, and you can use whatever price of eyebrow dressing you want. But you know what? It doesn't really matter. Use the cheap stuff and save yourself a little cash moolah. All right, so you get this. I've got this fantastic brush from MAC that I bought years ago that is distressed as hell, but is still my favorite eye brush. It's my favorite eyebrow brush from MAC. It's an angle brush. And in order to do eyebrows, you want a good angle brush. Mine is semi-soft. It's not hard. It's not like bristly. And some people prefer the bristly ones. I like this medium one because this medium one allows me to draw in little sculpting lines. There's a way to measure your eyebrows so they're always right. I'm not going to go over that here. That's a lot too much for this tutorial because I'm trying to keep it as short as possible. But note that when you're making an arch for your arch should be even with the edge of your pupil. Otherwise, you're going to look like an alien. I like to do the old, like, Liz Taylor brows from the 50s. Some people like them square, some people like them really archy 20s style. I'm personally a big fan of Liz Taylor's eyebrows. So I've copied them as near as I can for as long as I can remember. I've been doing my brows this way with all hair tones. Reconnecting. All right, sorry, we had a really short reconnection there. My internet hates me. So, it hates long broadcasts, and this is a long broadcast. It hates that. All right, so going in with this medium brown and putting the arch where the end of the pupil is. Good stuff. Now, you need to match it to your hair color. This is where mica comes in. So, interference mica is what it's called by artists, but you can get a mica that's got like the tone of your hair. Be that aqua, be that green, be that blue or purple or whatever. Use the one that has the most dominant tone of your hair. For me, that's blue. I've got a blue interference tone mica, and I go over the medium brown with it. And what that does is first it lightens up the brow so that it's not quite so prominent. Because if you draw in your brows, you can usually tell. But if you go over it with interference mica, one, it matches your hair, and two, it de-emphasizes a very strong brow that you just drew in. Check it out. And it matches my hair, doesn't it? Wonderful. All right. That's my brow secret. And now you have it. Now you, the public, have my brow secret. Use it wisely. All right. So now we've got the basis for a face done. Maybe what I'll do is go back over the rest of what you're listening to and do the rest of this at the end. That sounds like a good idea, doesn't it? I like that. I have brows, I'm good. We'll do the eyeliner and all of the eyeshadow and stuff and the lipstick at the end. That's my executive decision. I'm sticking by it. Anyway, let's go back to the music, shall we? Now that you've got half of a makeup tutorial done. All right, so me and half my makeup are going to tell you what you're going to be listening to next. All right, going back to the music. In this next set, you're going to hear UX/UI with Control, Urban Matrix with Maximum Energy, Blyski with Brammy, Cult Noir, The Night, the Moon, and Me, Woesome and Good, LLL, Zatar, New Age, Gun Moon with Amnesia, and Vague Phonique with Chemicals. And I want to go back and do a little review of the stuff that you heard in the first set, because that's how I always do this in the middle section of this of this broadcast. Ah, I'm losing myself here. Okay, so first up, you heard Ghost Cop. This is out on Artifact Records, and if you click through on the links, and mute needs to happen there. Sorry, because I go through this live and I actually click through the videos the way that you probably would to go and look for purchase information. All right, so you can get this on the album Trouble. That album is available on Bandcamp now. You can click through the links on this Ghost Cop video as uploaded by Ghost Cop and Artifact Records and go and get that fantastic album. It is good all the way through. And you have the Maledicta word on this. And then new stuff by Blue Dangle was at the second position in our show here. Blue Dangle with the right path. And Blue Dangle has been at this for a long, long time. I do believe they started in 99. I could be wrong about that, but maybe a little longer than that. But they've been at this for a long time, no matter what. They've got a brand new album out, and it's called Demon and Sturm, and you can stream that on all the popular streaming networks. My own recommendation is please don't do Spotify. Please, please, please don't do Spotify. It doesn't pay artists. Do Apple Music. Apple Music or Tidal. This is where everybody's making the most money. So you have the maledicted word on that. Go get it on Apple Music or on Tidal. Let's see. And you can go straight to their website and find this album, or go to streaming, discover it, and then go get it because it's a really good album. And then third in our music list was Witch's Blood with the song In Touch. Love this song. This came at me from one of my goth collectives, which I love, called Sound in the Distance. And this was actually released on the 31st of November 2019. And I was actually not aware of that until just right this moment. Sometimes the stuff on my collectives isn't brand new. So this is the oldest song in the lineup, but this is a really, really good song, is it not? Witch's Blood with In Touch. And you can follow the artists and support them on social media by clicking through that video and going to their page. And I will be doing that presently because it looks like they have a YouTube channel. How fantastic. All right, and then we heard from My Manifesto with Eyes in the Back of Her Head, and I found that on my Guitars and Sound page. They are a fantastic purveyor of all things goth. I find a lot of things that way. This was published by them a day ago, and you can support this artist by going through the links on that video. Really, really cool stuff. And then we heard from Preoccupations. I love them. I've actually seen them live, and they're fantastic live. They used to be a band called Viet Cong, and I have loved them since the song Continental Shelf. Oh, I love that song. But their new songs are just as captivating as anything old they've ever made. They're just a good band all the way through. And this brand new album that they've got out is, let's see. It says Ill at Ease on vinyl. I could be wrong about that. You can click through the link, and this is on Born Losers Records. And boy, did they ever put out some good shoegaze, post-punk, dream pop, etc. Born Losers. I do love this record label. And Preoccupations is out on that label. Let's see. And it looks like they've got all their social links here too. Really a cool way to keep up with the band if you love a band. And then you heard from Rena Pavar. Rena Pavar out on Cold Transmission Music. And she does some amazing stuff. I have loved Rena Pavar since she made a song called Red Rum. which was about meeting a terrible date and poisoning him. And I love this song. I think it's so great. Like, sorry, nobody's gonna ever hear from you again. I love this. I poisoned your red wine. And I love Rita Povar. She's just right on the edge of awesome and edgy and just beautiful. And I love her music. Anyway, this is taken from the upcoming album Six, which is out on Cold Transmission Music. And you can follow the links in the video to buy that there. She's fantastic. And everything she does is freaking gold. And I love Rena Pavar. Anyway, um, next on the list is Entries with the song Eyes. And got this from my Not for the Masses group. I love them. They do wonderful music, wonderful music discovery page. I love being a subscriber to Not for the Masses. They have just really good goth stuff and have for a long time. And this has the lyrics. This has a link tree to support the artist. You can click through and get this. Um, I'm not sure of the name of this EP or album. I want to say it's self-titled, possibly. But anyway, you can click through and find details on that. And was that the last song in the set? It was. Yeah. So, and then you had a makeup tutorial. What do you know? What do you know, my friends? What do you know? All right. So, I'll come back after these 7 songs and do the rest of this makeup with you. And then I'll have a nice makeup look for the rest of the day. And you'll have some instructions on how to do it that will live in perpetuity on YouTube. Fantastic. All right. So, back to the music. Back to the music now, starting with UX, UI with the song Control.